Hey girl, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the couch. I'm your host, your favorite friend, your pal, your BFF, Christy, and I am so excited to have you back today. Today, we're going to jump back in. We're going to talk about the subjects and the topics that are so taboo. The ones that kind of make us be like, no, I'm not sure I want to talk about that. Or maybe make you feel ashamed or a little bit self-conscious or maybe more hypersensitive or more aware. So we're going to talk about those topics today, those subjects. But before we do, we're going to do our Perry check-in like we do every single week. Excuse me. So before we get started, I got to ask you, how is Perry treating you this week? And of course, like every single week, I will start first. So this week has been a little bit of everything. I actually struggled in the beginning of making this video because I've had a really bad migraine that's made me super nauseous. And then I felt like the heart palpitations were kind of taking my breath away today. So I kept restarting and kept trying to come back and grounding myself and laying on the ground and trying to do all the things to kind of like get everything together. Um, but I made it. And then I think on top of the fluctuating hormones, because this week is Shark Week for me, otherwise known as the week of my period. So I think I'm also dealing with the nuances of that stuff too. So I hope that you have put your week in the comments and you've told another sis how you're feeling and you brought somebody else to the couch or to the show, to your living room, you sent somebody the link, whatever it is, I hope you did those things because this week we're going to get into some stuff. And per usual, I have all of my notes because I did some research. I was really looking at the North American Menopause Society, just about perimenopause. It's a great resource to look into. I know I mentioned before the SWAN study. Definitely look into those as well. As always, talk to your doctors. But a couple of questions about your peri check-in. Have you noticed any changes in your body, your skin, your sweat, your moods? Are you feeling any type of discomfort? Brush it off as like, oh, I'm just aging or I'm just getting older. Do you feel like a little bit betrayed by your body? So if those are some of your symptoms this week, make sure you let somebody know and put them in the comments below. And if you've made it to the Perry check-in, I know we're just getting started, but drop a heart inside. Let's drop a purple heart to match our purple blanket. So let's drop a purple heart in the comments below. So we're going to jump right into it. Let's talk about some symptoms, the taboo things that nobody wants to talk about, the hush hush, the ones that make you feel embarrassed. So vaginal dryness. Yes, ladies, that is a symptom of perimenopause. It can give you discomfort, irritation, and pain during intimacy. Intimacy is supposed to be a great time for you to connect with your partner. And I know how it can be embarrassing and frustrating, excuse me, because you're experiencing symptoms and side effects of perimenopause and menopause. So that is one of the symptoms. Urinary urgency and frequency, sudden need to urge, even when the bladder is not full. So you go to the bathroom, you empty your bladder, you come back out, and then you're like, dang, I gotta pee again. And then you're like, no, I don't really gotta pee. But then you feel like you really have to pee. Like you really feel like you really have to go to the bathroom. So then you get up and you go again and you don't really pee or you barely pee. Like those are signs and symptoms of perimenopause. Even when your bladder, like I said, is not full. Painful intercourse due to dryness or tightness or just hormonal shifts. Because your hormones are shifting and doing everything, you may not be as lubricated as you have been in the past or your younger years. So that in and of itself make you feel self-conscious and make you may feel worried. You're worried about how your partner will perceive you, judged, things of that nature. So that is also a sign. I think we've talked about this next one in the previous episode, decreased libido. You just might not have the drive to even have intercourse. You might not have the drive to be intimate or be close with the person that you love and you desire to be with. And that is also a sign of perimenopause. It's okay. But like I've talked about in previous episodes, we have to make sure that we're having the conversation so your partner does not feel rejected. You have to let them know that you're dealing with something and you're going through something, so they're not just feeling like you just don't want to be bothered. That could be part of it. You might just not want to be bothered because of the hormonal shifts, but let's have the conversation so they can walk this ride with you and they're not feeling like, okay, this she's going through something. I don't know what's going on. She's not really communicating with me. I feel like she's shutting down. All of those things, feelings are valid for both you and your partner. So if you don't communicate and tell them what's going on, they're not going to know how to support you and they're not going to know how to help you. So I think it's important that we're making sure that we do that. Like I just talked about, changes in your natural, I'm jumping ahead, okay? Changes in your natural lubrication. Even if arousal is present, maybe you're in your head too much too. That could be you're like overthinking it, like, oh, okay, am I going to be lubricated enough? Is it going to be painful? Am I going to be enjoyed? Sometimes as women, we have to get out of our heads. That helps the arousal process. And if you are in your head too much, then maybe the lubrication isn't working the way that it is. But there are things that you can get to help with that. Over the counter lubricants and things like that. So don't feel ashamed of it. Just know that it's a part of the journey, and depending upon where you are in your journey, if you're deciding, like I said in every other episode, if you're deciding some type of HRT, some hormone replacement therapy, or a natural remedy, or like the gummies and ashwagandha and maca root, all those things that kind of help you with those things, then maybe those things will help you. Um, Another symptom, pelvic pressure or discomfort. You can just, the pressure of it in itself can just be a lot. It could be painful, it could be frustrating. So, that in and of itself is another one. UTIs, urinary tract infections, or increased sensitivity in the vaginal area in general. Maybe it's just extra sensitive, or you're having increased UTIs due to everything that's going on. Have the conversations. Girl, you ain't broke. You not broke. It's okay. And the conversations may be uncomfortable. They like, I'm out here. I'm being vulnerable. Like, some of these things could be happening. Maybe it's not happening to you yet, but having the conversation and being a part of this Perry chat will let people know what could happen later on in life, what could happen in the next couple years, whether it be 5 years, 2 years, 10 years, wherever you are, whatever age you are, it could potentially happen to you. And I'd rather you be prepared for it so that you know what to do when it comes, versus you're just coming out of left field and you're like, what is this? What's wrong with me? Do I feel broken? Because you're not broken. You're just adjusting. Your body's pivoting. You're in a new phase or stage in your life. So let's jump right in. Let's talk about the first one we talked about, vaginal dryness. So it affects up to 50% of women in perimenopause. Some of the solutions that we can talk about and things that we can do, like I was saying, different lubricants. So they also have estrogen therapy, non-hormonal moisturizers, and laser treatment. So it just really depends on how deep you want to go, type of insurance you have. Again, this is not advice. This is just information that I found out. I'm not telling y'all what to do. I am just trying to do the research so that we can have the conversations. I'm just sharing it from a non-clinical aspect of somebody who's doing the research, so that when I get to these different phases in my life, I can be like, oh, okay. Oh, that's an option. I can try this, and really advocate for myself, because I know that I'm reading a lot more and I'm seeing things on social media where women are being shut down. They're being told that their symptoms are not that bad, or they're going to be okay, or X, Y, and Z. I want us to be able to have the conversations and do the research, and be equipped with the information, so that when we go and the doctor says, no, you're fine, it'll be okay, you can be like, well, no, because there isn't like a one size fits all test for perimenopause. You can do the blood work today and it could be one way. You do the blood work a week from now, it could be another way. And that is not a definitive answer on whether or not that you're in perimenopause, especially for perimenopause. Menopause and postmenopause is different because there's different signs and symptoms, but perimenopause is that like we talked about before, it's just that phase before. You could still be having a regular cycle, a regular period, a regular ovulation, and be going through all these symptoms. And because of that, because there hasn't been so much research and studies on it, it's just kind of like, oh, well, you're fine. But these symptoms are telling us not that we're not fine, that we're going through something, that there is a hormonal shift. and those things need to be talked about. So here's another one: itchy eyes, ears, and skin. Like sometimes I'm like just gone, like just ear just gone, just itching for no reason. Like I don't know how many times a day I could probably clean my ears without my ears just itching. Like just I don't know. Where I was talking to a colleague of mine, and her and I were just chatting, and then she was like, "Girl, I did not know that my ears itching was a sign of perimenopause." I'm like, "Sis, welcome to the club. Neither did I." Okay, like I am learning this too as I'm having conversations with more people. So it's like, when was somebody going to tell us that we were going to be going through all this stuff? Like all of these shifts were going to happen. When was somebody going to tell us? Hello, like we're both here waiting for somebody to have the conversation, but we're having it now. So that's fine. So let's talk about the stats. Dry eye syndrome affects 30% of women over 50. So skin collagen drops about 2% per year in postmenopausal. So like I'm taking like collagen gummies on top of it. But like a friend of mine, she like constantly she gets her lashes done, and like the individuals, I was telling her the other day, I was like, I could never get my eyelashes done because I'm always like scratching my eye. My eyes always itching. My ears. I could never. They're beautiful. I love them. I love to, but I beat and pulled them out. There's no way. They're so cute and they're so beautiful, but I literally would have been and pulled them out. There's no way I could just maintain that. So yeah, some of the solutions: artificial tears, omega 3s, fragrance-free moisturizers, and then humidifiers to keep like your eyes from being like dry. Because definitely, I'm always itching my eyes. I could do strips, like if I'm going out with the girls and I'm hanging out, and I could do like eyelash strips, but that is literally the extent. Because even then, I'm like, my eyes itching, my eyes itching. I mean, I could put on mascara and my eyes would be like, oh, and I want to itch it, but I don't. So everybody is different. Um, Body odor changes. That's been another one. So causes hormonal shifts, alter the sweat gland activity and the skin microbiome. So solutions: clinical strength deodorants, diet tweaks, breathable fabrics. We've talked about that before, and stress reduction. Sometimes the body odor changes are the body itself, but sometimes it's a sensitivity because our nose can become more sensitive in perimenopause as well. You're more heightened, you're more aware to smells through this phase as well. And I've noticed for myself, like I can smell things and I'm like, what is that? What is that smell? And why does it smell like it smells? Okay. So that's when neck and chest sweating. We've talked about night sweats, but this type of sweating is predominantly like on your neck and on your chest. And the stats are 75% of women experience hot flashes and night sweats during perimenopause. So, moisture wicking clothing, we've talked about that. But it has to do with the progesterone and the estrogen dropping, especially when it's basically on your neck and your chest. And then some women talk about how they have smelt a certain type of sweat. So like it's like a copper smelling or like an onion smelling sweat. And that has to do with the hormones dropping as well. And then sometimes it's dependent upon where you are in your phase. Like I did a little bit of research and I've seen where more people are getting the night sweats closer to their period, or so like the week before their period and the week of their period, then they have more and more night sweats. And that's personally for me, like I'll get them, but they're way more intense the week before my cycle and the week of my cycle. By then it's just like it's almost like unbearable. I'm like, what a shirt? Like, can I take my skin off? Because it's just that intense and I'm uncomfortable and I'm hot flashing. I need to be in front of a fan. But if I sleep in front of a fan, then it's like in the morning you wake up and then you've got a cold because you slept in front of a fan. But then without the fan, then I'm a hot sweaty mess, especially for those 2 weeks out of the month. So yeah, everybody's different. So I have some questions because I always have questions for you guys. And I hope you guys are still coming along with me. Nod in the comments, wave a hand down there, do something. Like, are you guys experiencing some of this thing? And how are you feeling with these symptoms? Have you felt comfortable talking to a loved one, your partner, your mom, heck, your dad, I don't know, your sisters, and saying, like, girl, like, when you going through this, do you feel like your body odor has changed? Does it smell differently? And everybody's different, especially like if you do increased exercise. And they do this whole thing like there's a commercial. I don't remember what deodorant commercial is. Where like stress stinks and forget whatever it is, something works, whatever. I don't know if it's Arid or something. Like it's a deodorant brand where they talk about the stress sweat smells differently than regular sweat. So is it something like that? Do you smell that? Do you have like a metallic smell to your sweat, an onion smell to your sweat? Everybody's different. So, whatever that symptom is, and then are you feeling self conscious about it? Like for me, like I will switch out a shirt. I will get up in the shower in the middle of the night because I am like drenched. My neck is like done for. The whole collar of my shirt will just be soaked. It's just, yeah, and it's not fun. And I could say that it's embarrassing, but I think I'm past like the embarrassing phase. I'm more of the just super self conscious, and I feel just I don't know, like if it's I don't know if it's down or sad about her. It's just, or maybe it's a combination of feeling down, sad, and just frustrated because I'm just like, oh, like I'm hot, but it's cold outside, and I'm on a period, and I don't want to be bothered. Like I don't know, it's a combination of all of it together, and it just kind of makes me feel annoyed. Yeah, that's a good one. Annoyed. Because it's like you want to sleep comfortably. You want to be asleep, and in the middle of your sleep, you wake up because you're literally so hot, or you got to change your shirt, or change your sheets, or change whatever because you're uncomfortable. Like I have literally slept with a towel around my neck because I mean, something's got to absorb it, and I'd rather sleep with a towel and switch out the towel than have to keep changing my sheets every night. Like, so, everybody's different. So, thought provoking questions. Let's see. I think I've asked this before though, but I still want to ask it again because these are the topics that are not so much talked about. Like people talk about night sweats, people talk about anxiety, they talk about the rage, but they don't talk about the smelling of the sweats. They don't really talk about the vaginal dryness. They don't talk about like the inner ear itching or the dry eyes. Like that's stuff that I found out going along through the journey, not something that was communicated to me ahead of time. Well, really none of this was communicated to me ahead of time. I found out after the fact as I'm going through it. So everybody's different. So have you ever felt embarrassed to talk about these symptoms, even with close friends or your doctor? I mean, I know that I have. Like when I just switched to the OB that I'm with now, I was just kind of like asking her questions and not really feel ashamed. It was just kind of like because it's been so taboo. And then we can even talk about like why things have been taboo. It's been taboo because I feel like it's not talked about. It's like shamed, especially in minority women. Like black women are just taught to be strong. Like we've got this. Like a lot of us are single women, single parents, and things of that nature. So we've had to carry the brunt of the loads for stuff. And maybe we're the oldest daughter or the caretaker, or whatever the case may be. We've been taught and we've been ingrained to be like, oh, we've got this. We got to be able to handle. So when you talk about symptoms that are bothering us, it's just like, girl, you got it. You're okay. You'll be fine. And it's not to say that we won't be fine, but our feelings are valid. And in that moment where we're going through something, it doesn't mean we don't want answers. It doesn't mean we don't want solutions without having to be like overly medicated or things of that nature. So I can get where it could be easily not heard, or maybe you grew up hyper religious and certain things just were not talked about. Because I know for me, like certain aspects of relationships and marriage and sex, all that stuff was not really communicated. It was more of like, stay away, don't have sex, don't do this, don't do this. But then when you get into a relationship, you get into a marriage, it's like, okay, but there's nothing that prepares you once you're on the other side of don't. Now you do. So then it's the same with perimenopause, menopause. Like who prepared you to have all of these symptoms, and then how to deal with them, the mental and emotional load of having to deal with the signs and symptoms and still deal with regular everyday life. You still have to be a mom, you still have to be a wife, you still have to be a daughter, you still have to be a sister, an employee, or a business owner. You have to deal with all of those things and these symptoms at the same time without making yourself feel like a crazy, or you need a break, or it's okay to say that you need a break, or it's okay to tell somebody no because you're at your capacity. So everybody is different. Um, that kind of goes into this. What messages did you grow up hearing or not hearing about sex, aging, or vaginal health? Honestly, I didn't hear anything. I, I've learned so much through research, friends, experiences. And I think that's part of the issue. Like, we're really doing ourselves like a disservice. Like, we need to be able to, we shouldn't be sending our kids, our sons and daughters to school to learn about sex from educators when we have parents at home who obviously had sex and brought us into this world. So they should be able to communicate and tell us, hey, let's talk about your body. Let's talk about the changes in your body. Let's talk about the things that your body is going to go through as you go through the different phases in your life, and not make it shameful. Not make it shameful, because I think a lot of times, if we're speaking on truth here, a lot of times it's a lot of shame in talking about sex with young people or young adults or teenagers, because the understanding or the communication is just don't have sex or don't. So when you talk about sexual health and you talk about the anatomy, it's just, you're just talking about education wise, but you're not talking about pleasure. You're not talking about things that could happen, will happen, things that are supposed to happen. So we got to really take the taboo off of talking about sexual health and communication, and stop making ourselves, our family, our children feel like it's a negative thing to talk about, because it's really not. It's really not. How do the symptoms affect your relationship with your body? Um, I would say for me, so yeah, I'm gonna repeat the question. How do these symptoms affect your relationship with your body? And so, because the symptoms are all over the place, um, I feel like sometimes there's just like this negative feeling where I'm just like, girl, what's wrong with you now? What symptom you going through today? You know? And I know I'm not the only one. So that's mine. How do we reclaim pleasure, comfort, and agency over our bodies in this season? Like, I don't know, what does that look like for you? How do you reclaim pleasure, comfort, and agency in this season? How do you do that? What do you tell yourself? Like, if you're dealing with the painful intercourse or the vaginal dryness, you can reclaim that stuff. And then when you reclaim it, you taking more control over your body, getting things, taking natural vitamins to kind of help with the libido, getting lubricants to kind of help that. It's nothing wrong with it. Like, again, we're taking the taboo off. We're not making it shameful. It's okay to have intercourse and to be intimate with the ones that you love, with the partner that you love. So reclaim your life. Okay? There's nothing bad about it. Reclaim your life and do the things that's going to make you feel good and your body feel good and your body feel happy. So that's what I'm going to say. So again, like I said, lubricants, moisturizers. You can do water-based, silicone, or natural ones. Pelvic floor therapy for pain, pressure, and urinary frequency. Um, Doing your Kegels, tightening and releasing, holding them for a couple of counts, releasing, hold, release, doing your Kegel muscles, that can help. Low dose vaginal estrogen. Those can restore tissue health and reduce discomfort. Again, talk to your provider. Open communication with your partners. I know I've been saying that on every episode. Talk, 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 talk. Have the conversation. This works. This feels good. This doesn't feel good. This makes me feel self-conscious, and then talk to them about what they're feeling too, because pleasure is two ways. It's a two-way street. It's not just about you, not just about him. It's about both of y'all together. So have the conversations. It's not taboo. It's not wrong. You don't have to make it awkward. If you're talking to the person that you care about, that's supposed to be your best friend, your partner in crime, having a conversation about sex or intercourse and pleasure should not be a hard thing to talk about. This works for me. This feels good for me. This doesn't feel good to me. So on and so forth. So have the conversations. self-exploration, reconnecting with your body on your own terms. If you don't know what you like, how do you tell somebody else what you like? If you don't know what works for your body, how do you tell your partner that works and doesn't work? Is it you just going trial and error, or are you going to just say yes that works or no that doesn't? You're just going to lay there and just try to hope they figure it out? No, we're going to have the conversations. Again, I'm going to put a disclaimer at the front of this video. If you got younger kids that you don't want to hear about this stuff, you got younger kids that you're not comfortable with them hearing about sex, using the word vagina, like, then listen to this in the other room. But again, I say this to say, as somebody who grew up with a parent who was very, I'll say, religious versus relationship, we have to stop making sex a negative thing. We have to stop making it so that it is shameful and it's frowned upon, because we're not setting our families up for success. So it's okay to have the conversations. It's okay to tell them that when they get older, these things are going to happen to them and they're going to feel this way about their bodies. That's okay. Now, what you decide to do with your family, you're telling them to maintain themselves for marriage, that's fine, but still have the conversation about their bodies, because that's important, and don't make it feel shameful. I'll leave that there. So, affirmations too. My body is evolving and I honor her with care and curiosity. Tell yourself that you are beautiful. Tell yourself that you enjoy intimacy. Tell yourself that you enjoy sex. Tell yourself there's nothing wrong with you. Tell yourself that you have a beautiful body and that you're sexy and you're desirable. Tell yourself these things. The more that you feel good about yourself, the more that you will portray that in those settings with your partner, and then they will also feel it, and then the connection will just be even better. But if you don't feel good about yourself, then you're going to already be shamed. You're going to be kind of closed out. Feel good about yourself. Take a bubble bath, go get a massage, get your nails done, get your toes done, get your eyebrows, or whatever you got to do to relax and unwind. Do the things. Date yourself. Do something for you that makes you feel good about you. Don't wait for the other person to make you feel good. You got to already feel good, and they're going to add to it. Okay, we're looking for additions, so they're going to add to it, but you already got to feel good about yourself. You got to feel good about you, and that where, regardless of what anybody says, you already feel good about you, so no one can tell you anything. You feel good about you, so tell yourself that you a sexy goddess and a beast, and you're beautiful and you're desirable, and your partner can't wait to see you. Period. Just do it. I don't know. So let's, I mean, just honor yourself. I don't know. I'm not trying to be goofy about it, but I want to hit it home that it's important that how we feel about ourselves is portrayed in how we walk, how we talk, how we communicate, how we interact with other people. All that, how we feel about ourselves is portrayed through our everyday life. And so if we are not confident in ourselves and confident on how we feel, I'm talking to myself. I promise you, I'm talking to myself. I know there's going to be people that watch this up like, did you take your own advice? I'm taking my own advice. Okay. I'm talking to myself. And this is therapy for me. Like, get into a therapist, but this is therapy for me. I'm learning from these videos and I'm talking to myself. But get into a space where you feel good about yourself. And regardless of a stretch mark or things not sitting the way that they're supposed to be sitting, and your body changing and the sweat smelling one way, like it, if that person loves you, they're going to walk through this journey with you. And if they're going to judge you and do all this stuff, then maybe they're not it. Maybe they're not it. But let's have the conversations, okay? And it doesn't serve us to be quiet. It doesn't serve us to be hush about it. It doesn't help us to be all like huddled down and afraid to talk, and it doesn't help you. It really doesn't. You gotta say something. Yes, I know I'm talking to myself. It's not shameful. This is what I have out here. These symptoms are common. They're not shameful, and we should be talking about it. That's how we reclaim our power. Whether you're feeling crazy, whether you're feeling dry, whether you're feeling extra moisture, lubricated, whatever the case may be, it's okay. You're in that season, you're in that phase. So this was a shorter episode. It's a shorter thing, but it's punching. It's punching with facts, it's punching with information, and it's still relevant and it's still needed. So I have a couple of different challenges and some things I want you to work on and to say it out loud and be confident in yourself. One of the things I told you, I want you to get into the mirror, because I think I did maybe affirmations last week, but I can't remember. But I want you to get into the mirror and tell yourself that you're beautiful. Tell yourself that you're sexy. Tell yourself that you're desirable, that these symptoms are not going to stop you. And we just do something different. You got to throw an extra shower in there. Throw an extra shower in there. It's not killing you. You're going to smell extra good. So that's fine. You got to buy some different deodorant, some clinical strength. Buy the clinical strength deodorant. Whatever you have to do. You got to change your eating habits. Drinking alcohol or wine when you know you're going to have those fluctuations in your hot flashes and the sweat is going to smell a weird way to you, then change your diet and change your habits. Do all the things that you need to do. But I want you to get in front of the mirror. I want you to name the symptom. Name the one that you've been too embarrassed to talk about. So if it's smelly sweat, you're going to get in the mirror. You're going to be like, you're going to say it out loud. I got smelly sweat. Whatever it is, I don't know what it is for you. If it's just the hot flashes in and of itself, name it. If it's the vaginal dryness, name it. If it's the inner ear itching, name it. If it's your eyes itching, name it. Like my eyes are so dry. Like I always feel like there's something in my eyes. They stay dry. Whether you got to share it with somebody, share it out loud with yourself, figure out a way to drop it in the comments, do all that. And then I want you to build upon it. I want you to tell yourself it's okay, that there's nothing wrong with you, that you can overcome this symptom and this situation, and you're working through the process. Okay. So yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. It really is. And so, like I said, North American Menopause Society, that's one of the sites I've been looking into, just doing some research and reading. Swan study. Remember I talked about that. Use that one as well. Share this episode with somebody, y'all. Share it, share it, share it, share it. I'm trying to decide if, because we have a few more episodes in this season, and then I'll probably give it a break for a week or two, and then pop into season 2, and then do the same thing. So I'm looking maybe 10 episodes or so for each season and going from there. But I want you guys to share it. We have to continue to make people aware. I got an Instagram page out right now. It's the same channel. It's the same link for that it is for YouTube. So it's the same, hey sis, is that Perry? It's the same one for Instagram that it is for YouTube. Nothing's on the Instagram page yet, but I am slowly getting followers on that page. But the page is there, and there's the link to the YouTube channel. I will be having what I call a Perry Pass, and it's going to be a little card with a QR code that will bring people directly to the YouTube channel. So I'm going to get those out so that I can pass those out in passing and walking around to people. I already have some. I've kind of tested it out, and it works well. But I'm excited to continue this journey with you guys, and I don't want you, like I say in every episode, I don't want anybody to feel alone. I don't want anybody to feel like they're by yourself. And then maybe you need to share this with your spouse. Maybe you need to share it with your husband or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, whatever it is. Maybe you need to share it with them so they can also understand what you're going through. I don't want anybody to feel like they're alone. Remember, I say this in every single episode. So I don't want to feel like I'm repeating myself, but I'm repeating myself for a reason. Because sometimes repetition is what we need to hear. Like that's when you say things over and over and over and over until it gets re-ingrained. They say it takes 30 days to build or break a habit. So we do something consistently over time, then we've broken a habit or built a new habit. So let's create the habit of consistently building ourselves up, talking to ourselves, encouraging other women in the comments or even face to face. Or if you see somebody going through something and they're fanning themselves, and you just let her know, say, sis, I see you. I see you. And just give her an affirming nod or a pat on the back or something, and just ask her, hey, you good? Do you need anything? I know I don't know you. You don't know me, but are you good? I see you. I see you fanning yourself, girl. I was just there 5 minutes ago. Say something to make it so somebody's like, "Whew, girl, yes, I thought I was alone in this journey." Knowing we're not, because there's too many women on this earth for us to be alone, and it's not just one of us going through it; it's a bunch of us. So I'm gonna go. Um, I don't really have much else. That's it. So again, thank you so much for checking out this channel, checking out this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and slap that bell to be notified every single time I post a new video. And I appreciate y'all. I really do. It's a few of y'all watching, and I'll take a few, even if I change one person's life, even if I educate one person, if one person finds out some information that they didn't know, to me, it's been a success. So thank you again for watching the channel. Thank you again for sharing it. And I will see you on the next video. Bye.
September we met, I could tell by your smile, you hadn't been with a good girl.